So let me start the network construction. And I start with laying out pipes. And the layout pipe tool can be used to create nodes and nodes with consumers attached at the same time. I start in the lower left corner of the network. So the supply station is supposed to be located here. I start with creating a node in this point. Oh, and the node is drawn in the scale I put here, but for the exercises, I think we are supposed to use let me do this again. I want to draw this at a smaller scale. 1 by 5,000 was too much, by far too big. So, okay, now the node is 10 times smaller. And I place the start node. I just move on the background map. It snaps to the corners and to the endpoints of pipes. So I create the bends, move up here. This is, I think, another bend. And I put here in this spot my first end node. So another click would add a bend. I use the right mouse key, the reset key, to remove the last point. One click will remove it. And instead I want to construct a node. I can switch here the next point to node, or alternatively, it's more convenient for me to use the control click in order to create a node in this spot. So go here, use the control click to create the pipe. Okay, construction completed. And why is it dashed? Because I'm using result supply for display, and template result supply in the construction has turned on use style, which means if there are no results, elements will be drawn dashed. Okay, we are constructing no results, therefore dashed. So let's switch this and use network supply instead. And at the proper scale, 1 by 5,000. Okay, looks better. Before we continue, it's on purpose that I will now not change the pipe type. Usually you would pick one and not want to use the default. I show how you can modify all pipe types or a set of selected pipes at the same time a little bit later. So next is that the construction continues here, and want to place an end node in this point. And in this point, it is also a consumer to be attached. Therefore, I use the Control-Alt click to create the consumer in this point. So move to the endpoint, Control-Alt, click, and it creates a node including a consumer. With the right click, with the reset clicks, I stop the pipe construction. And let me assign the proper load to the consumer. What did we agree on? In the exercises, we did it in a separate step. And for the consumer, we want to have a connected load of 50 kilowatts. I use the tooltip. Okay, when I point to the node, though we have no computation yet, we give you some feedback about the connected load. So in the tooltip, you find the sum of nominal power of all the attached consumer stations. Here is only one, therefore it tells me 50 kilowatt. if I would create another consumer in the same spot with the Create Consumer tool, I'm at the moment not allowed to do it because the tool settings show no multiple connections. So I don't want to attach multiple consumers in the spot. Sometimes if someone clicks doubled, it would automatically create another one and adding loads in this point. So let me uncheck the no multiple connections. And then I'm, of course, allowed to pick the node. From the tooltip, you see it's 50 kilowatt. Another click will use the Open Consumer dialog box as template. So the next consumer also goes to this node with a load of 50 kilowatt. So another click, and I'm on 100 kilowatts. Another click, and another click, and I'm on 200. So it's quite easy without maybe intent that you attach more load than you want. You will get the information when you click on the node, look up the connections, and here you find that I created 4 of them. Let me undo 3 steps. That is the consumer creation, so that I'm back on the single consumer I intend to have in this point. Okay, so this is almost a minimal network. It's closed at the network end with a consumer station. At the network start, we need to place a supply station. Here, similar settings. With the no multiple connections, I can prevent adding more than one station by just clicking 2 times. And this is the supply station. And I call that one station. Can enter the title here. And it is supposed to have a pump in the return. So let me point to this node. It's highlighted, so I snap the node, click, and the pump is created. The intermediate node that connects pump and supply, and the supply itself. The intermediate node takes the name from the supply, from the station itself. It's a node only in the return. When we look at the connectivity, the pump starts at K001 in the return. It ends at the intermediate station node that has just been created, only in the return. And from the supply station starts at the intermediate node, and it ends, discharges into K001 in the supply. Okay, this completes the initial network creation. Let me revisit, have a look at the supply station again. There you find some more information. If you want to consider pressure loss in the station itself, you can give it here a constant pressure drop. And there is also a pressure drop coefficient. This way you can account, depending on the flow, for some pressure loss that happens in the station. Typically, you do not want to do a heat exchanger computation here. Then you have to fill in all the data that is required. It is overkill. Instead, you have means to approximately enter the pressure loss of this station.